Hey everyone, so how are we? Okay, let me just get this out of the way. Everything I say is my opinion and mine alone. Please feel free to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Please do not attack anyone mentioned in this video. Have a nice day. Okay, so I really want to talk to people about this guy. The Dad Challenge podcast, also known as the Dad Challenge channel, disaster detailing, and the burnt out pasta. For this video, I'm going to be calling him by his name, Josh. So, let me just tell you a little bit about Josh, in case you don't know who he is. Josh is an ex-pastor who was fired from his job. He did also attempt to start a family vlogging channel, which didn't work out for him. I believe that Josh has menopausal issues with some sort of midlife crisis kicking in there, and a fair bit of mommy issues. And I do think that's why he goes after a lot of women. Maybe it's time for him to sit down with his own mother and sort of try and work these things out. So, the reason I want to talk to people about this guy is because, as I stated just now, he likes to go after women. He's trying to get all family vlogging channels shut down. Now, whilst I don't participate in family vlogging channels, or I don't watch them, I'm also not in a position I should be dictating to anyone what they can and can't do by accusing every family vlog channel of exploiting and abusing their children. I think is wrong. Someone's having major power trips is the way I'm seeing it. Like, Josh brings up all these videos of these vlogging channels, and he not only shows the parents on these videos, he shows the children too. So if the parents are exploiting their children, what does that make what you're doing? Just think about that for a second. If they're exploiting their children, abusing their children, but then you're going and you're downloading their videos and then repeatedly showing them on your channel, does that also mean that you're exploiting your children? Their children? And with the mistake of saying your children, I'm going to emphasize on that one a little bit. You say that children cannot consent to being on video. Yet it wasn't that long ago you was asking your 14-year-old if you have his consent to show him on video. Kind of hypocritical, don't you think? No? You've said some really vile things about these women, Josh. You've called them obese, selfish, self-indulged, lazy. And these are just a few of the things that I've taken note of. You very rarely attack the men. And I don't think that for one moment you would go up to these women in the streets and you'd say these things about them to them. But But then again, you was a pastor, so you might think it's your place to stick your nose in where it's not wanted. You make these videos where you're belittling people, you're berating people, you're attacking them for the way they speak and the way they dress. Yet there's videos of your children on your YouTube, along with all the videos you have of other people's children. Now, okay, you say the children can't consent, but do the parents of those children you're showing consent to you using their children to attack them? I'm going to assume that one's a no, because I can't for the life of me imagine you asking these parents if you can post videos of their children. You get so angry when you're on these videos. You're ranting and going off. And you sat at your computer ranting about a woman driving her car while vlogging. How many videos, Josh, have you got with you at the wheel? Now, if I was the kind of person to poke my nose into other people's business, I could go on to Google, type in your name, and go to photos, where I will find a picture of you standing next to your car, feeling as proud as punch because you got a Tesla. I could then go on to take the number plate and send it to the police in your area, along with videos of you driving whilst blogging or whilst making a live on YouTube. Thankfully, I have better things to do with my time than to worry about people like you. My only concern is the other people that are on the road with you, because you're clearly not a safe driver. And considering you sat at your computer calling this woman every name under the sun, because you've got this God-given right to go around predicting and telling people how they should raise their kids and how they shouldn't. There is a lot of pot calling kettle going on here, Josh. Now, please, when you're berating people for using their kids and what is the word you keep saying? Exploiting. When you are accusing people of exploiting their children, but then you going along downloading a video and then uploading it back onto your YouTube page. Are you then not doing the exact same thing that they're doing? Or because you were a pastor, you're better than they are? You also love to throw around the word narcissist, don't you? Find an actual narcissist, Josh. It's very rare. But you find about 6 a week, easily. And what is it with people on YouTube thinking they can go through people's personal stuff? Like you're going after YouTubers who get the PPP loan, and you're literally searching out people who got this loan. And the fucking best part about it, Josh, is that you're actually filling out paperwork, sending it back to the government and hoping they pay you for grassing up people who don't need it, according to Josh. How the hell would you know? This guy infuriates me. This is a Katie Joy in jeans and t-shirt with a pair of boxers. Honestly, why do people feel they got a God-given right to go and berate other people? As I said, it's very, very rarely you attack any fathers. And this Micah thing, Jesus Christ, get over it. It's been almost 9 months since Micah was on YouTube. And yes, I get that you want James off tour, but what do you want this family to do, Josh? Would you be happy if they were living in the back of a car, them and the children, eating out of the trash? Is that what you want for them? H is probably somewhere on a picnic in the middle of the living room floor, playing with his favourite toys. He certainly ain't worrying about who they are anymore. He isn't even thinking about those people anymore. But there is someone who is in the Josh. Because you wanted to hire a private investigator not so long ago to try and find out where H is. How about leave H alone? How about moving on with life, because everyone else has. It's only little old you now, Josh. And you just... I get that you're so hung up on losing your job as a pastor. I get that it really, really hurts you, and you can see it every time you mention being a pastor. And I get that you thought you was the best in the world. But if you was that good, you wouldn't have been fired, Josh. The fact that they wanted you to go back to Bible school speaks volumes The fact that you missed two sort of assessments and complaining about the hours you've done at Easter and Christmas. Guess what, Josh? You chose to do that job. Christmas and Easter. I'm more surprised that you even got to see your family on those days. Because being a pastor means Easter and Christmas are very, very important. Very important. You could probably do 90% of your shifts over the Easter and Christmas. If anyone is to blame for you getting fired, that's probably you. So, get over it. Stop telling people how to raise their children. Stop sexualizing everything. Because you do. You spoke about a young girl who had a cast taken off her leg. And with that in mind, you decided that it was more of a feet fetish thing. I can say to you now that nobody was thinking about a feet fetish. They were celebrating getting a cast taken off. Because depending on how long she'd had that on her leg, oh boy, when you get that cast taken off, is it heaven. But no, Josh has to take that, twist it a little, turn it a little, and boosh, it's sexualized. It's a fetish. What you do on your channels is nothing but schoolyard bullies. Dictators telling people what they can and can't do. Yet when you look back at your past, you've already done it. You've already put your children on the internet, including your daughter's birth. And even now you put your children on there and your 14-year-old saying, do you consent to me using your image on a computer? You could have even edited that out, Josh. You literally could have edited that out to make you look less like a plonker than you do. You're a bully who can only attack women, who needs to get his hormones tested, and maybe something for menopause. So with that, I'm just going to call her a night, because I could go on and on and on about the millions of things that you do that are problematic. But Josh, when you're calling families out for exploiting or abusing their children, don't go and post a video with their children on it, for God's sake. That is so tacky. Actually, no, that's beyond tacky. It's disgusting. How you could sit there calling these people out by name and attacking them as you're showing the children on the screen. I've just got to call this one. And we're out.